Welcome to the Royal Sports Show. I'm your host, Kenyatta Wright, and this debut episode, my first episode. And a little backstory on me, introduce you guys to me. I have 10 years plus in the journalism field, sports journalism. I started out my career writing for the Vanguard of Philadelphia, Vanguard newspaper, student newspaper. And I went on to do some articles with Fansided.com, which I wrote for PippinAintEasy.com with the Chicago Bulls, covering them as a reporter. And I've done other articles with HypeFresh.co in Philadelphia in 2018, various articles on the NFL. And I have extended my experience to the podcast industry and put down my pen and writing. And I decided I wanted to do a sports podcast. And this is my first episode. And I've been pondering when I was going to start. And today's topic was, something that made me want to start this podcast because it's a very big and heated topic. And when we come back from this break, we're going to get into the topic at hand, Drammondgreen and Jordan Poole fight, right after this break. Welcome to the Royal Sports Show, where we give the latest news, rants, and up-to-date information all around the sports world, right here on the Royal Sports Podcast. Back on the Royal Sports Show, your host Kenyatta Wright is back. So, the sports world is on fire. Social media is on fire all over this fight with Jordan Poole and Drammond Green that is stems from apparently a contract situation. And there was a fight on Thursday in practice between Green and Poole. And they, according to reports, this has been stemming from, years and, years of, well, not years, but this is not the first time these two has had a run-in with each other. And according to reports, from the Dime and, recent publications, ESPN and all of these different media outlets, this fight is over a contract. Jordan Poole recently received a contract extension of $188 million for 5 years, and Drammond Green is due for a contract extension, and the Warriors have yet to offer him one yet. Now, why would this be, ladies and gentlemen at home? And please follow the show. We have all of our social media contacts on the letterhead of our podcast. And we're new. This is the new podcast, my first show. And I'm hoping you guys can really, really support me as I try to continue to grow this channel and its debut and moving forward. But why wouldn't they offer Drammond Green a contract extension? First, let's go to some history, and then we'll lead back up to what recently happened. In 2016, in a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder in the locker room, Drammond Green apparently had a spat with Coach Steve Kerr. And from what I heard about that situation, Drammond Green was yelling in the locker room saying he's going to kill Steve Kerr, he'll kill him, and saying all of these threatening remarks to Steve Kerr. The Warriors got through that situation. And then in 2018, obviously we've seen what happened with him and KD, which ultimately led to KD leaving the Warriors. KD has been in multiple interviews and as well as on Draymond's podcast saying he left, because of their fight. And on First Take, Drammond Green went on that show with Stephen A. and company and saying that he left because of Draymond calling him a B. So Draymond has history of being a locker room cancer on the Golden State Warriors. So it doesn't surprise me that they wouldn't have offered him an extension. Jordan Poole, on the other hand, in the playoffs was a great lift to the Warriors and in the NBA Finals, helped them win the NBA championship, was an intricate part of that championship team. And the Warriors felt like they wanted to bring him back, so they gave him a contract extension. So you can see why Jordan Poole is not the odd man out. But this situation has resurfaced, and it has put itself in the spotlight where it's got these two at each other's throats. They're in practice. And from the Dime, the publication that I got this information from, and apparently Draymond was calling Jordan Poole a B, calling him a B because he was complaining about hard fouls in the scrimmage. And, Poole responded, yeah, you know what it is, Draymond, referring to his contract situation. And Draymond walks up to Poole and said, I don't know what it is, and then presses his chest up against Jordan Poole. And then, Draymond throws a right hook and knocks Poole to the ground. And now let me tell you something why this is bad for Draymond. Number one, I don't think he's going to get the contract extension that he was looking for. He's not going to get that. I think one of these guys have to go. They're not going to be able to remain teammates with this thing lingering. And the public embarrassment and scrutiny that Jordan Poole suffered due to this video is we can't even put it into words. I mean, the guy's going to have to deal with this for the rest of his life. He's going to have to hear about this for the rest of his life. This embarrassment is going to be in memes that he got punched by his teammate. And it's just an embarrassing situation. Number two, Drammond Green might not get an offer from another team. And if he does, I don't think he's going to have the same impact as he did with the Warriors. I think the Warriors is mainly responsible for Drammond Green being as successful as he's been in his career. But number three, this hurts Drammond Green from a public light because he was one of the leaders of the new media. And having a video like this leaked out on you, how can people really take him seriously as a member of the new media when he's on video doing something of this nature? So the person that leaked this video in the Warriors organization, and I think the sad part about it is that the person that leaked this video in the Warriors organization, this was personal. And the Warriors organization seemed to be more worried about this being leaked rather than the actual act. We don't want this aired out. So forget the fact that this guy just knocked his teammate unconscious. And Draymond, man, listen, this was a horrible act from him. I've never in my life, and we heard stories of Michael Jordan punching out his teammate Steve Kerr. We heard about all of that. But I've never seen blatant video of a teammate knocking his teammate to the ground like Draymond did this guy. And I hear many on social media, on YouTube, in the comment section saying, well, Jordan Poole pushed him. What do you expect Draymond to do? Well, the man was pressed up against his chest and had his face all on the man. What do you expect Jordan Poole to do? So in that situation, I felt like Jordan Poole acted accordingly. The only thing is, I thought it should have been a punch rather than just a push, because now you push the guy and he can say that's like a provoke. So then he's going to go and throw a punch, but you should have threw the first punch. I'm not provoking violence, but Jordan Poole was clearly the victim in this situation. He might not have been a victim had he would have defended himself accordingly at first. So with that said, man, this is an ugly situation for the Golden State Warriors, who are coming off a championship run, winning the finals against the Boston Celtics. I'm sorry. And moving forward, this is going to be a bad thing publicly for the team. And Drammond Green's poor apology didn't help matters. And here's what Drammond had to say, his explanation.
I think for myself, I am a very flawed human being. And I think I personally know those flaws better than anyone. And the work that I've done to correct those flaws, I think, has been tremendous. And yet there's still a very long way to go. I think that's a constant work in process. I am a constant work in process, and I'll continue to do that work. I think the day that took place, I was in a very, very, very bad space mentally, dealing with some things in my personal life that quite frankly, not certain that I can't sit here and say like, oh, you're dealing with some things in your personal life that didn't shorten your temper, that didn't that didn't change your reaction in moments. Like, all those things are tied together, and I think that's where you get to see the human being side of us, where if you are dealing with something, when you step on the court, it just doesn't go away. That's the same brain, that's the same body that is dealing with something that's now stepping onto that court. And as a leader of this team, I needed to have a better feel for myself and just know and understand like where my wicks in was, and what could possibly push me the wrong way. And quite frankly, I didn't handle that well, and I failed as a leader. And in turn, I failed as a man, I failed as a leader. And in turn, it's led to this. And so for me personally, I have to take what comes with that. I have to deal with that and continue to better myself as I will. Like I said before, rebuild the trust and relationships in this locker room, because ultimately that is what is most important to me. And making sure that this team can come together and compete at the absolute highest level that we know we need to compete at to do what we're setting out to do.
So did you guys get from that this man was sorry? It just sounds like a man that, was caught in the actual act and just, was handed a script to go up there and say something, to apologize to the world. But in my opinion, if this was not put out there on video, the Warriors organization would have left this the way it was. And it probably would have gotten even worse because they were hiding it. And I think the simple fact that it got released in public was a good thing. It needed to, because why would you want this kind of atmosphere behind the scenes with your team? Situations like this destroys championship teams. Some teams can't handle things like this. And I'm hearing Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry saying it's not going to destroy the team. I believe in our guys, and we're going to come from this. And it's easy for them to say, man, but this was a horrible situation. And even if Jordan Poole's not saying that it bothers him, it probably does. And let's say this: Draymond Green and Kevin Durant didn't come to blows. That wasn't physical. It was all words. This got physical. And the KD and Draymond thing wasn't able to last. They weren't able to keep playing with each other. So you really think that these two are going to be able to play with each other despite this happening? And there's still a lingering issue over money. This was all about money. So these guys won a championship together, hugged each other when they won a title. But ultimately, they don't have no love for each other, because that shot from Green, that was thrown with intent to hurt somebody. That punch was thrown with intent to hurt somebody. He really was trying to lay that man out. And this is a man that he just won a title with, he was celebrating with months ago. I'm sorry, man. It's like money just contaminates sports today. Back in the day, they played for the love of the game. Today, they just play for a contract. And to think about this whole thing is over money, and this is what's going to destroy the team chemistry, is just disgusting in itself. But that's my report on the matter. I wanted to give a brief, explanation as to what happened and where we're at right now. Drammond Green has been on record in that ESPN interview that was aired by ESPN, saying he's going to take some leave, or much needed leave from the team, and let the situation breathe through. But I don't think it's that simple. I think he's going to have to get traded. He doesn't have to be traded because he's up for a contract extension. And, before he is as an opportunity to be extended, I believe is next summer. They might trade him this year just so they don't lose that championship, drive. But to trade him this year, I think that will also be bad, because I think the Warriors will need some time to replace the void of what Green gives them. But that's the Royal Sports Show. My name is K-Dub, Kenyatta Wright, and I plan on dropping more gems and videos and footage of how I feel about stories that happen and things that happen in the sports industry. Please follow and like and subscribe. Please support us on social media. Follow the channel. And I am very grateful that I have another opportunity to launch another podcast like this. Thank you. Good night. Leave your comments below, and thank you in advance. God bless.